Hey friends, I decided to, as I'm considering working on a how-to tutorial on fire cider, it would be fun just to go live for everyone to see my apple cider vinegar that has been fermenting since August 16th. So I double the fermentation process because we don't rely on hospitals or doctors or pharmaceutical medicines. This is our medicine. This is our main medicine for our household. And what's really wonderful about fire cider is there's no one way to make it. You start with your base ingredients, and once you have your base ingredients, that's where the fun begins. So base ingredient is your fire cider, or of your fire cider is your apple cider vinegar, which I have done tutorials on apple cider vinegar. I'm not very good at doing tutorials on YouTube, but you take your scraps from your apples, you take water to sugar, and I can't remember off the top of my head how much sugar to water. So this is what it should look like. It should have this nice pink color to it. Now on this one you can see that there is some white stuff at the top. That can all be scraped off. This is all going to be strained anyways. So this does not mean that you messed up and you failed. This is fermentation. So fermentation is really amazing, and it's something that if you're trying to live a healthy life, that I highly recommend you getting into, because once you have fermented anything, you're creating a natural probiotic. The difference between a probiotic and an antibiotic will it will take care of everything. It will wipe out everything good and bad. It really doesn't differentiate or decipher what's good and bad in your gut. It gets rid of all of it, which can cause a lot of havoc. I had a lot of gut issues, and that's when I learned about probiotics. Later, a couple of years later, 4 years ago, I learned about fermentation and fire cider. So we've been using fire cider for 4 years now, and it's grown to be my favorite all-natural remedy. So the way that looks for us is we have some in the refrigerator. Now this is a mixture of several things. I just used this bottle, but it has elderberry syrup and fire cider and some honey ginger that I had. So the fermented honey is something that I enjoy adding, because you get your fermented garlic honey, which you can use that alone. You can eat the garlic. You can also just have the honey and some tea. That's for like cold, flu season, but that's a fermented also. So I add that to my fire cider recipe. You can also add elderberry, so you get triple the immune support. Another fun thing is to add any of your wild medicinal or dried herbs that you have. Right here we have bee balm, and this is really good for sinus issues, for allergies. We have yellow dock, which is very good for urinary type things, stomach. And then I just have some dried rosemary and lavender that basically was dying off my plant, and I wanted to preserve it. I actually add those to my morning cup of joe. That's another way that you can add some medicinal herbs to your day. If you have immune issues, which I do, and you're determined to live a good life, those are some things that you can do. So I recommend this book on fire cider. It's by Rosemary Gladstar and friends. They are basically the ones who they made it popular in the US. they took from other people's recipes and made it their own. But this is a really good book. It has your cider vinegar history. It has recipes. There's many recipes for apple cider vinegar, and it really just depends on what you want for your family. You can make it your own, just like if you were to make, a homemade bread recipe. So the main recipe is you take your apple cider vinegar, and then you take horseradish, ginger, garlic, turmeric, any citrus fruits, and any wild edibles. And so you can ferment that for 2 to 4 weeks. I always do 4 weeks. Also, you want a good, organic, unfiltered, unpasteurized, basically a homemade vinegar. Also, it only requires 2 weeks, but I recommend 4 weeks. This is for your family's health, so why not go the extra 2 weeks? Now, on my vinegars here, you can see the difference in the colors. So I think on these, this is not fermented, because I don't think I added enough sugar in these, because I did so much, I kind of messed up on a few. And these, it might be because I usually use an organic granulated sugar, but I ran out, and so I used just a regular sugar. And so that might also be, you can see this one, it's a lighter color, so it is fermented, but some of these are just, doesn't even look like they're fermented. So a way to tell on your fermentation is also by smelling them. It'll start having like a wine smell to it, and then that turns into the vinegar. So it's pretty simple. You really can't go wrong if you forget about it and you go over. It just makes a stronger, nicer vinegar. So that's something that's really fun. And you just store this in a dark, cool room. And so I have just a coffee filter and a ring around it. That's what I used. And then so I'm going to strain these on September 13th here in a few days, and then let it sit for another 4 weeks. While I'm doing that, I'm going to have my garlic fermenting, my honey garlic, and once that is all done, then I'm going to add all my ingredients: the horseradish, the ginger, turmeric, onions, the honey garlic. You can do lime, you can do lemon slices, and any other wild edibles that you want to add to it. So it's a really great recipe to just be really creative. And also elderberry is very good if you make homemade elderberry, or like I buy my elderberry and I just add that to my fire cider. It just gives it an extra kick, an extra punch. So if you want to do like a weekly like maintenance, what you would do with the fire cider is you just take like a capful, and you can basically get some water in your mouth and put that capful of apple cider or fire cider in that and just drink it like a shot. And that's a really simple, easy way to get your weekly or daily dose. If you're feeling a little sick, or you have an infection, you have a UTI or anything, or stomach issues, you could do a daily dose or twice daily dose to help things really move and improve in your body. It's really good for circulation issues. So another thing you can do for circulation is take all your scraps from your fire cider and you put that in a coconut or extra virgin olive oil, preferably coconut oil, because that does have anti-inflammation properties. Is rub that on your feet, legs, veins, whatever. And you can do that at night or in the day, and that will help get things circulating too. Of course, walking every day is also helpful. So I will try to do a better just how to make fire cider video with the exact, recipe. It really just depends on how much you're going to make also. But I can do just maybe a simple one, like maybe this size, or maybe like the quart size. This is, I think, a half a gallon. That's a gallon. That's a quart. So let me know if you guys watched this, if you enjoyed it. What's your favorite natural remedies for your family for colds and flus and just for overall immune support? Thanks for watching.